Hello everybody. Hello everybody and welcome back and welcome to the round number 7 of the Caravel Cup. Okay, today in the morning, unfortunately the connection fell down and we couldn't see the end of Pietro's game. But now I asked to Pietro to send me the notes for seeing the moves, and I can explain you all the moves played by Pietro against his opponent. We can check the game from the start. After that, he will play the round number 7. We have some minutes for waiting. For waiting the start of the game, because I remember you there is also the delay, and we cannot. We cannot see the game from the start. So this is the game played in the morning against a guy 1723, e4 c5 c3. Pietro was black. Knight f6 e5 knight d5 d4 c takes on d4 and c takes on d4. d6 was played by Pietro. The opponent played knight f3, normal move, and knight c6. Here, the opponent take an extra tempo because he played bishop c4, attacking Pietro's knight. There is not defended. So Pietro needed to find a way, and he has more option. He could go going back on b6, attacking the bishop, or he could take the pawn as he did during the game. D takes on e5, D takes on e5, and here knight b4. Knight b4 has the opportunity to go into c2, double attacking the king and the rook. Okay, not at the moment because the queen can take the knight, but after a3 played by Pietro opponent, queen takes on d1, king takes on d1, and knight a5. Knight a5 means if you take there, I will take your bishop. But here there was a waiting move, that is bishop takes on f7. King takes on f7. It was the only move that he could do. Pawn takes on b4 and knight b3, double attacking the bishop and the rook. Rook a3, knight takes on c1, king takes on c1 and a6. a6 just for trying to attacking the b4 pawn. And here, he played a tempo move because the opponent played a tempo move because he played knight g5. Knight g5 means Pietro needs to going back. He had, I said during the live stream, he had just 2 moves going on g6, but it was too much because putting the king into the center. Okay, you cannot castle, but is too much anyway. And after that, he played king e8, a normal move. Rook d1, h6, knight e4. That was better than going to f6 because on e4 you can control the f6 and d6 square, and that's pretty good for Pietro's opponent. Bishop takes on b4, so now the pawn are the same, and that's pretty good for each one. And here Pietro opponent played knight d6 check, and here was the situation where we was when the live stream fell down. So after king e7, we was there, and the game continued for 90 moves more. So what's happened during the game? During the game, I said, okay, it's super hard. The Pietro opponent can play something rook f3 or rook g3, but Pietro opponent played rook g3. Rook f3 was better because you can try to enter on f7, but he played rook g3. And after that, Pietro played rook g8 just for defending the pawn, and that's enough. Knight c3, okay. Pietro opponent continued to developing his piece because the knight was... Yeah, no. This is the previous round, because for the next one, we need some minutes before starting because there is the delay, they didn't start. I said in the previous live stream that I started this live stream some minutes before because we couldn't see the game because the live stream fell down and we couldn't see all the moves. So yeah, that's all. Knight c3 for developing the piece. The only one there was just at the starting point. So b6. b6, I don't know, maybe it was just for try to developing the bishop. Okay, not on b7, of course, but maybe on a6. And here, opponent played knight b5. Knight b5, okay, just a second, because Pietro shared me the link for the new live stream. And okay, we need to put in the delay. After that, so 15 minutes, close to 15 minutes from now. Knight b5, knight b5, and here a6. a6 was the move played by Pietro opponent. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. I need to send a message to Pietro. Okay. Wait. Wait a second. I have to show you when we can. When we can. Oh, wait. This. We need to wait 15 minutes from now, so it means 48 we can start to see game number 7. But before that, we can check the previous game because we didn't analyze that game. Just some minutes, guys. I'm so sorry, but we need to wait some minutes about the delay, etc. So I can put in the time on the screen so you can also see how many time the two players have. Because we need to check the clock. We need to check the clock. And after that, we can also see how many time does the two players have during the game. Okay, for the moment, it's not important, but after, yes. Okay, here we are. And Pietro played a6 here. A move for trying to remove this knight, because the two knights are defending themselves, no? So the move was not knight c7, was the most beautiful move where white could play here, because after, for example, rook a7, he can just take on g7. Well, let's see these moves. Rook takes on g7, rook take on g7, and knight take on c8. An incredible combo. Okay, it was not the move that was played during the game, but if Pietro played, yes, 15 minutes. Yes, 15 minutes delay. We are just analyzing the previous game. This was an incredible combo for Pietro's opponents. But fortunately, he didn't play that one, and he just go back on d4. Knight d4. After that, Pietro played bishop d7. Finally, he developed the bishop, and yes, now, okay, it says that white is still good, but it's not a problem. F4, and now game E. Hi. How are you? How are you guys? F4, G5, try to destroy this pawn structure, but F4, F5 was the move played by Pietro's opponent. E takes on F5, knight takes on F5, bishop takes, knight takes, king E6, putting the king into the center. But now there are a lot of strategic things that white could do. Well, first of all, it could go on d4 because I don't know. It takes the pawn on h6, and Pietro played the rook on c8, putting the rook into the game, trying to attacking. Yes, check the king. Try to attacking the opponent king and developing a rook, just as developing a rook. That's pretty good. Rook b1, the only move that he could do. And rook, wait. Here there was rook h8, threat to attacking the other pawn. But he preferred to play rook g6. Was another normal move. As you can see, the situation is one pawn up for white, but the position seems equal because, okay, the king is in close to the center, the opponent king is totally out of the game. Okay, the two players has two single pawns, but okay, seems a little equal for the two players. Here, Pietro opponent played knight g4, defending that pawn. But as you can see now, this rook is a little bit out of the game because Pietro's opponent needed to replacing that, and where he could do. That one probably was the only move. And let's see, because after rook c4, okay, and he was saying, okay, if you want to play the rook on d3, I just take your knight. Here, h3, bishop c5, defending the pawn and not allowing, for example, rook or knight there. And here, rook d3. Okay, rook d3, to be honest, it's not an immediate problem. Oh, you're from Mars. Welcome, welcome to the Earth. Welcome to the Earth. You're saying before move. Yeah, but before you are not defending the bishop. I think he can stay there because white cannot enter there because the bishop is defending that square. He could play something like g8 and try to replacing the rook. I don't know where, but try to replacing the rook because now that rook is a little bit out of the game. But I don't know why in this position Pietro decided to sacrificing the rook to the knight, because he was saying, okay, I can double the opponent pawns, having two pawns in the g file, and he could take the e pawn. But I think it's a little bit too much because after taking there, h takes, king takes on e5, rook f3. Now, as you can see, king cannot enter in that way, and that's impossible. And well, you can continue doing like okay, like you can do normally for checkmate with the two rooks. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Pietro played a5, knight f5, check, king e4, rook e1, king d3, rook e5. Okay, and now the big mistake, because probably Pietro would like to playing something like that for trying to put in the rook into the game, but unfortunately there was that move for losing immediately the bishop, and that's why Pietro decided to quit the game, to resign. And so his opponent played a super really good game. Now I didn't check the oh wait, I cannot see the game review. I don't know why. Because all the moves are there. Share the game. As you can see, there are just the moves before Pietro leave the game and not all the others. I don't know why, to be honest. But okay, it's not important. Okay, but depends on what's your elo. Because if you're at my level, 18, 17 seems okay. It's a normal tournament. If you're 2400, okay, it's a super bad tournament. Okay, here we are. And we need also 7 minutes before a starting round. And I have to telling you that's incredible. That's what's happened is incredible. Because Pietro is playing with white today. And his opponent is from England. And Pietro said me that he come to the tournament with that guy that is his friend. So he knows his opponent, and that's super strange playing a tournament in another country with your friend and playing one of the game against. It happens to me in a tournament in August. I went to Portugal. Oh, what's your elo? But what's your elo? What's your elo? When I went to play a tournament in Portugal, I went there and I went with my friend from my club in Italy. And during one round number seven, probably something like that to nine, we played against them. I said, "Come on." I came to I came to Portugal to play against a guy from my club. No, come on. No, come on. 5 minutes. 5 minutes and we can start. Okay, to be honest, it's less than that because as you can see, they started to moving. At that moment, oh wait, sorry. They will start soon. They will start soon. Okay, his opponent is from England, I told you, and is exactly 2000 elo. Exactly 2000. And that's pretty strange. Play against people with that perfect elo, 2000 000. And yeah, let me check a thing. Because I told you about the performance of this tournament from game number 1 to 6. And now, okay, I can tell you also at the moment. Oh, wait. Oh no, 18-17. Because the performance of Pietro in this tournament is 18-47 before this round. Yes, 2 points out of 6, but okay, the elo average of his opponent is super high. Is probably higher than no, I don't know, probably not higher than 2000. But let me try to do the average of the elo of Pietro. 2422 1981 plus 1802 plus 1723 plus 2000 divided in 7. Okay, 1975 is the average of Pietro opponents. And it means it's super high, so it's more than 200 elo higher than Pietro's rating. And he's doing pretty well because he's gaining 29 points before this round. And if he will win this game or he will draw this game, he will get a lot of other elo. And he can get step by step. And he can arrive around 1750, I suppose. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. And in a few seconds, in a few minutes, we can start to... Yes, exactly. Exactly. He's playing against his friend, so yes, everything can happen playing against the friend. But yeah, but playing against the friend is you need to be super focused. You have not to saying have not to playing against a friend. I'm playing against another guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Understand. 2000. You mean 2000? Okay, we can start. Come on. We spend more than that time. Okay, it's the arbiter. Okay, that's why I saw the pawn on g4 and I said, okay, it's impossible. It's impossible that Pietro starting to play with g4 against his friend. It's impossible. And now, let's see what's happened. Okay, we can skip this part probably. That's happened before the round starts. Yeah, and you go back. Okay, d4 has been played. And Pietro opponent played knight f3. Oh, yes. The the London. The London. And let's see what Pietro opponent like to play. Here there are multiple options. d5 has been played. And let's see e3, yes. Normal move, e3. Yes, exactly. The Mason attack. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, everybody. I am a relative... Wait. No way. What? Because you think I'm similar to him. I'm just Italian. I'm just Italian, and I'm from named after the British player. Ah, James Mason. Oh, I didn't know about that. Thank you so much. Go, 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 go. Yes, of course. Yes, to win after the previous game, that the game that he lost in the morning. He knows how to play the London system well. So let's see if his opponent knows to play the London system well too. Okay, e6, most common line played here. And now I think knight f3. Knight f3 is coming, probably. I don't know. I would also check. Oh no, he played knight d2. Knight d2, second most common line. Oh, come on. I never. Oh, wait. 1987. I was not born in that year. That's crazy. So let's see if you can guess every single move or the best move in every single situation. Okay, knight d2. Okay, probably this is a move, so surprising his opponent. Bishop d6 has been played. Okay. Now let's see if he will play what he can play. Bishop g3 probably because he you don't need to trade in the bishops. Yes, knight f3 is the most common move in that situation. There is there is always knight d2. Knight d2 is probably the second most common line played in this situation. Yeah, I go back. Knight g3. Bishop g3, sorry. And let's see the continuation. Let's see the continuation, because probably black and castle, for example. There were 0 books written on the London at that time. Come on, really? Yes, to be honest, I never seen... Oh, 92 is recommended in the Gotham Chess D4 course. Oh, well, good. Yeah, London is... I didn't see a lot of people play the London a lot of years ago, just... yeah. In modern times, I mean. I would play knight f3 here, going into double f pawn structure. Oh, you're gonna play? Yes, because it's not a problem for white having a double pawns in that situation. Starting in the middle 99. Oh, okay. I never know that things. I never know that things. I don't know how the London system starting to be played by people, to be honest. But I see a lot of people, a lot of players that are playing the London system in these days. Yes, of course. Now a lot of people started to play the London system, of course. And in this specific line, there are, wait, after knight g3, 567 games played with that specific order of moves. There's, oh, the best one, in my opinion, is the one by international master Sirius La. Okay, probably I don't pronounce it correctly. Lakdavala. Okay, Pietro opponent played, and he played the knight on c6. Knight c6. Okay, just 5 games. This is a not so common line, probably. That's why. You mean bro is Pietro or his opponent? Because now knight f3 is a common line. Or normal move, because it needs to developing pieces. Oh wait, I can also put in the time. Wait, just a second. I'm so sorry because I'm doing that things in live stream, but it's the best thing that I can do. Okay, maybe a little bit higher because it's not important having a full table. It's important knowing also the time control that the two players has. Yes. Yes, the knight went on d6 on c6, guys. Goldman Edward. Ah, yeah, the opponent. Okay. And that's exactly the knight that didn't has to stay on c6 because on c6 is not a natural square for the knight, but is also not so bad. Okay, there are no mistakes at the moment, but as you can see, white is in a little advantage, plus 0.3, 0.4. and that's pretty cool for him. Now I think Pietro needs to start to calculate something, because as I told you, knight c6 was not a common move, and if he started to knowing to learning that opening, probably he doesn't know the specific line. Exactly, totally exactly. He doesn't need to put all the pieces for a kingside attack at the moment. He just need to castle, for example, developing the pieces, and after that try to understand how he can do for well, for winning. Before, everybody started to play the London, the King's Indian attack, and the Collar system were exceptionally popular. Yes, exactly. I played the Collar system. Okay, probably you're talking about many years ago. But when I started to play chess, one of my favorite opening was the Collar system. I played the Collar system for a long time. Okay, let's see what Pietro is doing, would like to do. If you like to moving the knight on f3, he seems close to move. Yes, he taking the knight and he go to f3. Good. Knight f3. And now, okay, we are having in a different order of moves, because the database says there are more games with that specific position, so probably in different order of moves. And seems the most playable move here is a move that is super strange, I suppose, for people lower than 2000. And that move is Queen e7. Queen e7. Queen e7, white has a super low, super low winning chances. Okay, black is the same. 77, no, 67% of drawing games with Queen e7. And that's absolutely equal with castle. And that's probably the just two moves. Okay, perfect. The exactly position for not seeing anything. Okay, let's go. Emo from there. Yes, if Pietro will win this game, can be an incredible win, because first of all, he is a 2000 guy. It's not so strange because he beat another 2000 guy in the first round, so seems a normal win. Last round, Pietro unfortunately lost. No, why not? Ah, for black, you mean? Or for white? Castle is a normal no. Oh, wait. Why I swiped the chessboard? I don't know. I'm so sorry, because Pietro is playing with white. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but for example, if black will castle, there are just normal move, like, oh wait, like c4 and c3, of course. It's not so problematic, in my opinion. Depends. Okay, Pietro opponent is also spending some time in the opening, so it means that he's not so comfortable with the position. And that's pretty good, knowing that your opponent is not feeling so well, especially in the opening, because it means he has to calculate everything. Because on the king side, attack potential, yes, of course, but is okay. Okay, of course, black has not to take in the pawn. Otherwise, yes, yeah, you can have a strong attack with taking with h pawn is totally good for white. But if he doesn't take, I don't know. Will be a long game. Will be a long game, so depends about the next moves. Yeah, but if you're feeling good, if you know in the position, if you played the position a lot of times, you can play without thinking so much. Okay, maybe you can, well, if you would like to create something strange for you and for your opponent too, maybe can be okay. I don't want to say dangerous because if you calculate well, it's pretty good. But well, I don't know. I prefer to play the opening that I know than openings where I can know that my opponent cannot feel comfortable. Because if I feel comfortable with the position that I know, my opponent has the pressure to playing every single move perfectly. He might think he's doing fine and is looking for the best way to continue. Yes, but if you know the best way for continue the game, because they know each other, so probably Pietro's opponents knows that Pietro is playing the London, and if he knows that Pietro play the London, probably he can prepare for playing against the specific opening and finding the lines is easier. Now, if you know that if your opponent play just a single line, just a specific opening, it's better because you can prepare well, and that's probably the situation where we are. When I play G4 often, my opponent take a lot of time, but doesn't mean they are uncomfortable. Yes, but they have to spend the time for calculating because okay, they probably knows that G4 is not the best opening ever, but playing I know I listen a GM course from Italy, where he said, okay, it's easier for you playing opening like G4 before, something like not easy because if you are not a GM, of course, because you can put your opponent in a worse situation because it doesn't. Okay, probably if you play the Sicilian, you can play 15 moves in a row without thinking because you know all the lines. But if you play some secondary lines or strange openings, you need to thinking for every single move. But thinking for every single move, it means also you have no time, especially probably in the second part of the game. Okay, Pietro opponent played and e castle. Yes. I agree. It's a big advantage to know your opening better than your opponent. Yes, of course, that's pretty cool. But if you know, for example, your opponent played the London, and if you're playing with black, if you want to enter in a specific line of the London, you need to find something strange, something that your opponent didn't study, something secondary line. Otherwise, he knows probably better than you because he played that opening every single time. I know. Not sure about that, but that's what I think about. Of course, Pietro should be 2000, especially because he played a lot of good games against people around 2000. He also beat a guy up to 2000 and the Ultimate London, the 45. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. If you play that, it's a little bit not common, of course. Okay, let's see if Pietro will spend some time in the opening if he would like to play something like c4. He can play c4 in this position. He can play the bishop on d3. It's not so easy to play bishop on d3. But okay, just talking with the database, the most common move here is not c4, is not bishop d3. Bishop d3 is the second one. But the most common move here is c3. C3 is an opening where in 2025 has been played by Volodar Murzin against a guy. Okay, it's super funny to say because he played that opening against a guy to 1625, so like 1,000 elo difference. So he could play also Queen B1 and Queen D1 again, and he could win the game. But yeah, that's probably why it's not so important knowing. No, it's important knowing who played the specific line that I'm talking about. Okay, Pietro played. Yeah, wait, come on, he played c3 really. He played c3, and we fell into the most common played opening in the chess world. Good, good to know. Good to know. There are not so many games played with this specific line, and with that specific line, the most played move was Rook E8. Seems a normal move because you want to take in the control of the center, you want to push in that pawn, not now, or maybe now, I don't know, depends on the feeling of Pietro's opponent. But okay, it's easy to understand why black needs to play the rook on e8. Other moves are queen e7, like I said you previously. One of the most common moves played by black is queen e7, but also knight e7 for replacing the knight and going on g6. That's probably, yeah. I don't see other moves like, I don't know, b6 for playing the bishop there. Can be okay. I don't know. Seems normal, but this diagonal is not an open diagonal, so yeah. London the best. Low maintaining opening. Yes, oh, maintaining, yeah. Maintenance opening in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. White can also. I'm not a London system player. I played before, but I don't play so often the London system. But is it possible to play something like Queen C2, Bishop D3, Long Castle, Rook G1, and pushing all the pawns against opponent king? I don't know. It's a lot of moves I know because also Pietro's opponent is still playing. Pietro lost the last game, unfortunately. He lost because his opponent played a super, incredible good game. And his opponent in the previous game was 17-23, the lowest rated in that tournament. I don't know what you wrote. And yeah, his opponent played super well. He didn't make big mistakes. Oh, wait, the time has been moved. Sorry, so we need to replacing that. The 45 c4 is better, but requires Italy. Yes, of course. That's why I play the 45 c4. Chilling, but now I'm starting also to doing knight f3 after d45, and I'm starting to doing a course, an online course from one of the he is an international master that wrote a course on Chessable and now on chess.com too. And on Wednesday and Thursday we can follow the course online. Okay, I write you my nickname on chess.com. This is my username. I am Shivaita. Okay, c3 is the last move, but okay, well, since the opponent played a move and he played rook e8, I'm so sorry. The 45 knight f3, a good flexible move order that keeps your opponent in the dark about, yes. Yeah, it depends because I started to analyze, okay, that course is a course called d4 opening. Okay, Pietro played the knight here. Seems good playing something like f4 bishop somewhere and castling. Probably. And now let's see if the opponent can play knight d7. It's a little bit super a defensive move. But now white position is super good. Queen pawn game. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the queen. The opening is d4. I told you. So okay, it means the 40% of the openings played by white in general, because I think the 50% is with d4. All the others with d4 and a 10%. No, probably more than 10%, but all the others is a small percentage in the opening. So it means it will be a super and incredible long course. So we have to taking a lot of weeks for learning that specific course. Okay, white position here seems super well. Pietro is playing super well. He didn't spend so much time for doing all his moves. The best situation ever where white can be. Not so good for his opponent now. Not so good for his opponent because he needs to play probably something like these defensive moves and arriving in a not comfortable position. Not comfortable position. Jester plays c4 often, starting in 1970s. Korchnoi played in almost oh. But do you know, I have to tell you another things now. Because I did a video with that will go out tomorrow with the record, the Guinness World Record played by people, the chess people, of course. And Korchnoi is one of the three players that beat the most number of world champion in his life. He beat nine world champions. Pietro has done everything right so far. Yes, exactly. He played probably 100% game at the moment, but it's just move number 8. I can tell you, because, well, I have to doing this. I'm so sorry. Wait, this one. And we can check the accuracy. Okay, they just played 8 moves, so it's not so important at the moment. It's important the position, not the accuracy. But let's say just for fun. And the accuracy is 99.8 for white and 98.1 for black. And yeah, the only not so good move for black is knight c6. Yes, there are 3 people that beat nine world champion. Oh well, I did a video, I don't remember all of them. One is not so famous. The second one was the the Russian player that played the candidates and they didn't want the candidates. I don't remember the name. I forgot the name. But feels like the position called knight 47. Yes, of course. But playing 97 is super defensive for black. We hope Keres was the other one. Keres was the other one that beat 9 world champions. He almost became world champion in 1978, losing to Karpov 6-5. Yeah, Korchnoi. Yeah, I don't know too much about Korchnoi, the history of Korchnoi. Well, what's happened? No, nothing happened. No. Black is still playing. He's thinking, sorry. Seems he close to move? No, he just replays his position. his body position. But since he's close to move, next thematic move for white is f4. Of course, yes. And replacing the white light square bishop and castling for helping the f-pawn with the rook. And if the opponent will take, you can take by pawn and having a rook in an open file. And that's pretty good for white, I suppose. That's one strategic line playable in this specific position. Seems seems black is close to move for a long time. Wait, he played the bishop on d7. Bishop d7. Oh, wow. That's pretty good for us. Pretty good for us. Let's see, probably there are no games. Yes, of course. No games in the database with bishop d7. Because bishop... Thank you so much. This is not a normal move. What do you want to do? What Blake want to do? Would he like to take in there and replacing the bishop on the diagonal, but he has no squares in the diagonal. So it's a little bit strange. Probably one of takes. And after putting the bishop there and trying to destroy in the center for opening the diagonal for the bishop, but is a super complicated plan, probably. You cannot see the game on chess.com, unfortunately. Because there are no DGT boards. I need to put in the moves by myself. And we hope the mobile battery don't fall down. And we can continue to see the game. Me too, me too, me too, me too. Because I think here white has a goal. The goal is that pawn. If I has to play that position, I don't want to castle. I would like to play the bishop on d3, the rook, the queen on c2, like I said you before. Try to attack in that. And maybe playing something like f4, bishop f h4, and if it's necessary, trading the bishop to the knight, trying to attack in that one. And if the opponent played that, we can go on g5 and going on h6. Okay, there are too many arrows. Bye, bye. See you later. See you later. See you later. After bishop d7, yes, of course. Bishop d7 is a little bit strange. It's a little bit strange move. Because it's not a move where you can replace the bishop. You can play putting the bishop in other squares. It's not a square for the bishop. So let's see. His opponent is spending a lot of time for thinking because the position is super good for Pietro at the moment. Oh, Pietro played the bishop on d3. Oh, pretty good for us. Super good for us. And now it's difficult. It's difficult for black because if he play, for example, Queen e7, f4 is coming, and that's totally good for us. Okay, the two rooks all together, but let's say all the pieces are on that square. Okay, it's not a square, but okay, all the pieces are on this square, black pieces. But I need to play f4. He needs to play f4. But it's also super hard to find a move for black here. Because he cannot taking it's super hard. Try to go back. Try to go back because they didn't play that moves, just that and that. Okay, that the position. I said Queen e7, but okay, Rook f8 maybe can be another one, but it needs to spend a lot of times for trying to doing the his plan. Okay, the engine says also a5, but I think a5 is not possible. It's not a playable move. Come on. A rook f8. Okay, a rook f8, it's impossible. Again. Going back on f8, impossible. So my two chance to see a move is rook c8 or queen e7. But for example, with that one, if he play something like that and continue to try to pushing in that side, is also another chance for white, I suppose. Also, f4 is a great call. So one, wait, with this, and two. Oh, sorry, I forgot to read a lot of messages. The opponent is dubious about the kingside attack potential, of course, because now white can have a good attack in their side. But our protagonist, I think is very much well versed in that position. Yes, of course. Rook f8 is so disgusting. Yeah, of course. The computer just want to. Yes, yes, of course. To be honest, I think Carson cannot play Rook f8. Zero chance. Okay, Carson doesn't arrive in that position, I know, but he cannot play Rook f8 in that position. Wait, I can do a thing live. One of my friend is a grandmaster. I can send you the photo of this position. Wait, I can. And let's see what he says to me. A grandmaster, eh? Wait. Let's see. Okay, I send the photo. He's a grandmaster from Spain, and he was the number four of Spain some years ago. Now he's 2500, something like that. His name is Jose Manuel Lopez. His nickname is Super Lopez. Yes, let's go, let's go. It's super okay. He replied. He replied. He says, "Oh no." He said me, "I can now. I can think now." Can you consider Rook F8 here? Correct, exactly, exactly. It's super hard now. Fell into a trap. Okay, what he played? He played Queen E7. He played Queen E7. Queen E7 is the move played by black. And now, as you can see, the evaluation bar is super good for us. Okay, F4 is the move, but okay, I also yes, Pietro just have to be accurate. Is 1.6 for white. Pietro points 2 out to 6. But the average of the people is that he played against is 1975. So super high. He's playing super well. Today in the morning, he played against a guy that is low rated also, because I think Pietro is low rated because I think he's stronger than 1710. And his previous opponent too, because he played a super good game. But in that one, is another game. He has to delay what they did during the in the morning. You need to just to think about that game. Okay, and now it's time to play f4. If he doesn't want to play f4, he can also play h4, I suppose, because you wanna putting pressure on the king side, and that's bishop. Yes, of course, of course, of course. That's the two moves that he has to do. But if he doesn't want to doing that, he can also try to push in the pawn, h4, h5. Maybe it works anyway. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Maybe he has to calculate everything. He has to calculate every single line that he need to. That he has. Because, for example, h4. Look there, h5 is coming, and after bishop there, and f4. Wow. If you play f4 now, takes. Okay, no, you cannot take, of course. Yeah, because I think playing one of the two rooks on c8, maybe the other one, on c8, he prevent the push on c5, playing f4 because he couldn't take in there. Otherwise, there is a double attack, and white can win easily the game. Queen e7. Okay, Pietro is trying to calculating. We hope his opponent is standing up because if he saw that the position is not so well, and let's see. There is a little boy. Okay. I asked to my friend, the Grandmaster, if he can consider Rook F8 previously. Okay, Peter is thinking a lot for this move. Yes, I know, but if a GM cannot... No, 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 no. I just asked him that. He didn't reply to me. Not yet, not yet. If he will reply to me, I'll let you know. Otherwise, come on. Rook F8 there is crazy. Okay, Peter is spending some time for playing f4. Maybe he's just considering different moves here. But he's taking his time for analyzing everything, and that's better not playing just for because you have to play fast. Because if you're an advantage, it's easy to losing that advantage. Okay, we knows that because we are chilling in our room and with the engine, but it's playing live, and playing live is different. You have a lot of um, ideas. You can say is okay, I can play this, and you can see something strange that can happen, but there are not possible. So we need just to wait when Pietro thinks to find the correct way for continue the game. But the problem is anyway, black has no developing. Zero, zero, absolutely zero developing. He cannot develop anything. He he has no squares for his pieces. He can just moving because he cannot skip the time for moving the pieces. But come on, come on. He has also not to spend so much time. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, guys. Pietro position is pretty good. Pretty good. He needs to find the correct way for continue, not forcing to winning immediately. He needs to taking his time, getting an advantage step by step, arriving in a better position move after move. That's the only way for um, for winning the game because he did all the things correctly from the start to now, and he cannot waste all his previous moves just because he has to play fast because he knows that the position is better for him. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Because I think he cannot spend so much time, and well, I also think that he can consider to move in fast now. Oh well, come on! After 5 seconds, I said that he played h4. H4 is the move chosen by Pietro. Okay, it's pretty good because he pushed the pawn, he putting pressure on his opponent, and now it's super hard to find a good move. Okay, black can play h5 for stopping that h pawn and not allowing also, for example, if he play, let's say, h6, that one, and the bishop on h5, h4 is better. But if he plays h5, he cannot going on h4 with the bishop. So that's why it's a better move. It's a good move. Now you can consider also to castle, and if I told you he will move the rook there, he can play f4, and now there is the queen there is looking for that pawn. Okay, he cannot take it now because the knight is defending the pawn, but well, he can just going back and take in there, forcing to play g6. And yeah, it's g6 for example now, and you can just taking your time for playing like e4, takes, and that's pretty good. Takes, and that's pretty good. And if your opponent play, okay, now he will lose the bishop, so that's probably not the best move. Yes, to replacing the pieces, for example, going back on the 8. No, come on, it's super hard to find. I don't know. I don't know what black can do here. You prefer f4? Yes. Me too, me too. But h4 is good anyway, in my opinion, because it is continue to putting pressure on the opponent. And now I think he's also waiting his opponent to playing wrongly moves, because if, for example, play something like that, he can jump on f3. Oh wait, they stop f4. That's not possible. Well, but if, for example, there are the moves, you can just take, and knight g5. And for defending that, that's pretty terrible for black. That is forced to playing that and queen h6. Okay, maybe that knight here is forced to play the bishop on e8 because if he plays, for example, I made a random move, he can play h5. If he play a6, he can play the knight on f7. Wow, come on. Okay, there are a lot of moves to do before arriving there, but let's see. h4, the best option for black, so we he doesn't find that move is h5 here. So after h5 we can castle and play a f4 later. Otherwise, if he plays h6, we can just pushing the pawn on h5, putting pressure, giving a square to the bishop. And that's better, come on. Better for white, of course. But if he doesn't play h6 or h5, he can continue to play, for example, the queen on d8, but it's strange because he just played the queen on e7. So just go back on d8. But just because you wanna replacing the knight there is like losing tempos. So that's why I suppose black move here, the only black move here needs to be h5. Okay, I hope he find another one. I hope he find another one, but okay, Pietro leave the chessboard because he needs to. Okay, he just go back. I hope he take a break, but no, he just go back immediately. Okay, let's see, because his opponent is going down to 1 hour on the clock, so good. Or maybe we can put in the... No, it's better there. Okay, there is a man that go in front of the camera. Okay, his opponent is close to move. And he moved really the rook on c8. He removed the rook from the center from the e file. And guys, he played the rook on e8 and now we play the rook on c8. In 3 moves. He spent a move for moving the rook on e8 and another one for going to c8. So it's pretty good for us. We can play the pawn on h5, and I think can be a move that Pietro can find, because if we play the pawn on a h4, he can see cannot move the bishop, no? So finding h5 and maybe also h6, it's easy to find. Maybe it can be worried to take in there, but it's not a problem because, for example, if Pietro, I don't know, played that one and the opponent takes there, he can win a piece. So that's pretty good for us, no? So it's absolutely not a problem. So that rook on c8 for us is absolutely not a problem, and you need to be super careful. Bishop b e8. No, bishop e8. No, 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 no. No, what does it mean? Ah, you think he played the rook on c8 just for putting the knight or the bishop there? Yes, but come on. Yes, but if I play that one and you go back on e8 with the knight, I can just push in there and you're forcing to doing that. And yes, let's go. I can start to playing that. You cannot take. And that's completely better for us. And if you take by that one, I can take, and you okay, take. I don't know why black has to losing that one, but we will win easily. No, I think h5 is totally crazy. It's a totally crazy move. Okay, the only thing is that black is playing super passively, and Pietro has good chances um for find a good move. I just don't know what is he thinking about, to be honest. You're talking about black, no? Because black, yes, me too. It's super hard to understand black ideas because he's playing just passively. And okay, I don't want to say that it is not finding good moves because, yeah, again, it's easy saying that if I'm at home in my room is there. So that's not easy. That's not easy. But all the moves that he's thinking probably you probably would like, because I thought like maybe he would like to go in there and pushing the pawn on c5, but it's not needed to moving the rook on c8. He could, for example, go on d8 by knight now, no, for playing that. So well, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Oh, if I were black, I also don't know how to play. Yes, correct, correct. If I was black, I have no idea because I think okay, he has plans in his mind, but it's also super hard to understand which plan he has in his mind. Okay, Pietro is thinking, and let's see if he would like to pushing the pawn on h5. Okay, seems he's close to move, and he played okay, knight d f3. Okay, what's happened? Oh, the rook there. I forgot to move in the rook there. Okay, knight f3. Knight f3. Knight f3 is the move played by Pietro. Yes, 2 points out to 6. 2 points out to 6. He won against 2080 something, and he also won against 18 something Elo. So he's gaining 28, I don't remember, 28, 29 points at the moment, Elo points, and his performance is 18 something. I don't remember exactly. He's playing super well, and especially in that game, in this game, he's playing super well. He has more chances. Now he played the knight on f3, but to be honest, if I am if I am black, I have no ideas on what I can play. 94 seems a good way, but if I can take and going on g5, it's not possible because I can take on d7, and if you take there, I can escape. If he plays 94. First move is bishop e8, but it's another passive move. Another move for white seems a5, but come on, nobody can play a5 again. It's another no human move. And since the first one is 95, 94, sorry. 94 seems the most normal. And okay, I think Pietro has not losing that bishop, so be playing the bishop there is not so well for the moment, because okay, after that and that, for example, f6 and you're forced to going back and there is e5. Yeah, that's horrible. Okay, here we are. That's the position. That's the actual position. That's the actual position. So it seems black has not so many moves to do. And he also can consider not to losing a lot of time for thinking, because he don't have a lot of different moves. Seems the opponent is close to move. Let's see. Let's see which is his move. Okay, no, he go back. No, 94. Okay, 94 is the move played by Pietro opponent. 94, and you can consider to taking. Taking, you will win a pawn. If black, for example, we do that, you can enter with the queen, and that's totally won by white, no? I think not losing the bishop pairs can be the idea for white, but he doesn't care. He doesn't has to think in that way. He has to think in, okay, I can win a pawn for free, or having a super good position. I can enter into my opponent's side. So that's what Pietro needs to calculate at the moment. But if you wanna go in there, and after takes, he's not so good anyway. Oh, there is bishop takes on c7, takes, and knight g6. Wow. A super great combo. But that's not a move that he has to do. Taking the knight, and going there, and not be worried about that, because you can win a pawn for free. Okay, now black position is normal, seems normal, but he is one pawn down. But he needs to find that move. He has to calculate. He has to think about that move. He needs to find that move, so it means he has to calculate a lot. And now let's see, because there are, okay, other option. If he didn't play immediately, it means that he's calculating other moves, probably. Which are other moves can be played? Knight g5, maybe. But if it takes, h takes, and that pawn is a problem for black. And if he takes here, bishop can take that one. And that can be a problem. That can be a problem for white. So he needs to take him by pawn. Oh, and pushing on f4. Of course, not now because he will lose the bishop. But maybe okay. Now it's time to playing something like that. And okay, he has two double pawns. Oh, it says also that one. No, but g6. Okay, there are a lot of moves. Knight g5 is another option. Queen c2, of course, for putting more pressure on the diagonal. But anyway, seems not so easy. Anyway, seems not so easy to continue the game because after that, if the opponent will play that one, what you can do? You can play the bishop on f4, trying to destroy that center, that f pawn, but he doesn't care about that, no? Yeah, seems it's going to be a complicated game. So that's why probably taking the pawn, taking the knight is the best decision that he can do. But he's thinking a lot. I think he's not so sure about that move. Because okay, we are analyzing with the help of the engine. And I think if you don't calculate well, in that position, the position can collapse, and the position, if the position will collapse, will be super hard to going back into the game. Okay, well, Pietro opponent, I don't know if he's 56 or 55 minutes, probably 55. And Pietro has is close to 1 hour, so time control is pretty good for him. So he can start to think for some seconds, for some minutes, because it's necessary at the moment doing that because he arrived in a good position and he has not to moving fast. It's not necessary moving fast. He has to playing moving correctly, not fast. No? Let's go, Pietro. You spend a lot of time. It's time to move. Bishop takes on e4. I think my friend, my GM friend, is playing because he didn't reply to me. And he's not online. Let's go, Pietro. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 1 hour. You have 1 hour at the moment. Let's go. 59 minutes. He's spending a lot of time, so it means probably he's not sure. He's not sure about that move. Come on, no, come on. Yes, to find. Bishop takes the knight. Bishop takes the knight. Easy, and you can go there. Probably he's just saw that move f6 with a double attack, but it's not a problem because white can take in there. Or taking the knight. Probably taking the bishop is better because you're pushing the queen on d7 completely out of the game. And after that you can take that. I mean, bishop take, f6 takes, queen takes, and you can take that. And if he takes that, you can just go back. And the position is super good because this pawn is completely out of the position. The queen can go on g4, takes there and takes there. You can take here, pushing the queen on h5. Come on, the position is completely good. Okay, he's thinking, so, well, let's see, because he's spending like 10 minutes for these movies. A lot of minutes for a single move. Now the time control is close to be equal, so, okay, to be honest, it's not a problem, not having so much time. But now he has not so much time, he has like the time control that his opponent has. Let's go, Pietro. I don't see other moves than taking the knight. I don't see other moves because he's playing super well, super well. So he needs to be super focused at the moment because he doesn't need to waste in a single move everything and just be focused on the game. Okay, you're playing against a friend. Sometimes happen that if you play against a friend, the game will finish in a draw, but I don't think that's the case. I told you that in August I played in a tournament in Portugal where I played against a friend of mine that was coming from my club. And yeah, I played against him around number 7 to 9. And I would like to drawing against him because we had the same elo. But he said me, no, no, I would like to play, and we played, and I won, so I was really happy. But sometimes happen that okay, wait, Pietro is now he's still thinking. But sometimes happen that if you're playing against a friend, sometimes you draw the game. Okay. Oh, Rook H3. Come on. He played Rook H3. He played Rook H3 in a position is well, a little bit strange because okay, the rook is in the same diagonal of that pawn. So he can just play that. But if he plays that, I suppose Pietro will take in that. But if, for example, go back, okay, that's completely horrible because he can takes here, and e5, and come on, the position can collapse. So here we are. The main move is bishop e8, but it's also super hard to find because it... Why that move? Because you want to play f6 and replacing the bishop probably in the diagonal from here. Yeah, that's probably a mistake, but it depends on the move of black. Because black idea I think was playing the c5 pawn, no? Because it put the rook on c8. And now depends, because if we're going to taking here, okay, Pietro needs to be super careful because he has no to taking by bishop, but by pawn. Because if he takes by bishop, okay, he can just play f6, and after going back, no, maybe that one is better, he can play 5, and the black bishops are completely strong. So there are a lot of tricky moves for 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 black now. I'm not happy, unfortunately, because there are a lot of tricky moves, not because he played rook h3, because rook h3 depends. Maybe you can because I don't know if he played that one just because he thought to defend the bishop on g3, or because he had other plan in his mind. But another normal move that black can do now is playing f6. But after playing f6, he can just taking here, takes there, bishop take d6, queen take d6, and go on g4. Continue to putting pressure on the opponent. We was here. We analyzed their move. We analyzed bishop e8. We analyze. Okay, there is also knight takes there. Rook takes, but I don't think he will go. He will remove a good knight from here just for a bishop in a close diagonal. So probably he doesn't play. Knight takes on g3. Also because probably he put the rook on h3 because he wanna defending the bishop by the rook, and you are doing the job that you want to do. Okay, I think now Pietro has 2 points. Yes, yes, yes. I think now, I think now, Pietro opponent is a little bit shocked because their move is also a little bit strange. I don't think he analyzed that move previously, and now he has to calculate to understand the position for calculating everything. Okay, Pietro go back. And it's good taking a break after thinking more than 10 minutes for a single move. That's pretty good. So let's see, because, okay, it's going down to 50 minutes. And let's see if we move fast or something like that now. Because now I think he needs to calculate it. Now he has a lot of multiple options, more than a single. Okay, he played f6. Okay, f6 is good for us. Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for us that he played that move. Okay, now he can he has just two moves, first of all. Taking the knight or taking the bishop. And he can say, if I takes there and he takes here, I can take the pawn, and if he takes, I can take. Or maybe I also can take by rook. Because that no, why? I'm winning a piece for free. Come on, what I'm saying. But now, as you can see, the rook on h3 is horrible. Is horrible. Not the best situation for white, but white has an advantage. Is one pawn up, so that's that's good for us. But if he goes to taking not the bishop, but the knight, bishop, okay, computer says that b pawn has to take him there because probably he has to sacrifice the pawn on c5. But come on, nobody will take by pawn. He will take by bishop, of course. And yeah, I can just simplify the position and arriving in a situation like that, playing c that one, and after that going here. Yeah, depends. Yeah, multiple option again. And now Pietro, I think, needs to be careful, needs to calculate everything, needs to, well, also to calculate b takes on c6, because we said, okay, normally you have to take him by bishop if you take on c6, but if you take if the opponent will take by pawn, he can push the pawn on c for trading the pawns on c5. It's not an easy position now. It's not an easy position. Let's go, Pietro. You will find a move. You will find a move. Yes, 2 to 6. Yes, correct. 2 out to 6. And this is game number 7, of course. Oh, come on, let's go. Yes. Knight takes on d7. Okay, I think now we will take immediately. He has also the chance to taking the bishop here. And is better for us if he takes the bishop. Also, if he takes by knight, by knight is better for us. Yes, okay, normally yes, you can think to doing that, just that, no? But doing that, you have also that position, and now the game can be equal. But he has also the possibilities to take in the bishop by bishop or by knight, first of all. And if he'll go that, is better for us. I don't think he has to think a lot for that move, but let's see. At the moment, game became pretty equal. There are no so dangerous plans to do. Pietro can simplify the position also, taking the bishop on. Oh, he took the knight. Okay, queen takes the knight. And now it's time to Pietro for calculating what he can do. Simplify the position or not. What's happened? Oh no, they was joking. They was joking because he cleaned the chessboard. And he cleaned the chessboard close to the rook. And the opponent said, "You touched the rook." No, he was joking because they are friends. Oh, come on, was super funny if he called the arbiter really. Okay. Manipulating your opponent mind. Okay, now we leave the chessboard. So Pietro has two chances. Simplify the position or not. But if he want to simplify the position, easy, taking the bishop and let's go. If he doesn't want to doing that, what he can do? Because, well, their bishop now is just going in that way, going on h2. Come on, nobody will play bishop h2. Third option of the engine is bishop h2, but it's completely impossible to play that move. And he's losing a tempo because your opponent will take your bishop and your rook is on h2. You move the rook on h3 for going on h2. No, come on, it's impossible. Another option is playing that here, but your pawn structure is, okay, probably no strength because you can push all the pawns. You have two pawns on that file, but you lose the center. So it's a little bit dangerous playing a normal position, taking the... Okay, he took the bishop. That's the best solution he could do. Takes the bishop. And now he can take that one with three pieces. Pawn. And for having a super strong center. 1, 2, 3, 4. And try to push in there and let's see. Or taking by queen, but the queen is not in a diagonal where he can do anything, and the other one too. So, well, it's not so good for black. Otherwise, he can take by knight, but I think he would like to leaving the knight on on e4 and not going back because where he can go that knight again on e4. So why you have to going back? I think taking by pawn is can be dangerous because after playing e5 later, black can have a strong center and can be hard for Pietro. Pietro can have a counterplay in the other side, but if takes. Oh, bishop takes e4, he cannot take. Yes, come on. Okay, Pietro opponent, go back. He go back. And now let's see. Probably he calculate that previously because it's a normal move that white could do. Probably the only one that he could do. But it's probably an hard decision. It's probably an hard decision. Which pawn would you like to use for taking the bishop? The pawn, sorry. Would you like to using the pawn? Would you like to using the queen, or would you like to using the knight? It's a super, super, super hard decision because every single move changed the game. Best for us is if he takes by queen. That seems probably one of the most natural move to do because you don't want to having double pawns or something like that. Oh, he take. Wait, he go back? No, he's smiling. I don't know what's happened, but he takes by pawn. C takes on d6, and that's the position. And that's the position. Okay, black would like to probably destroy the center, but we saw that if we takes, but for example, g4, that one, if he takes and if he takes with that one, we can take, and well, queen d5, and we takes a free pawn. He has to find g4 because you doesn't want to allow to the opponent to play f5 because if you, for example, play that one, he can do that, and after I don't know that move, he can control the center. But g4 is super hard. But now it's time to Pietro to staying in a position and are in a position where it's super hard to find something to do because there are no clear moves. No, as you can see, no clear moves for for um, for for Pietro. Okay, it doesn't mean there is a trouble, of course, absolutely not, because you can see the evaluation bar is better for white. Oh, C takes, C takes, C takes. Our decision, our decision. Another option, I suppose, is going back here for trying to trading that, but he has F5 possibility. But if you play that, let's see what's happened. He needs to going back and you can play G4. Okay, probably is too much because the king is totally unsafe from there. It's totally unsafe, but can be a solution. It is a solution. It's super hard to find good moves here. So let's see what Pietro is calculating. Time control is supposed to be equal by the two players, so nobody is in trouble. They are spending the same time, and that's not a problem. Pietro is thinking. Pietro is thinking. Let's see if he's close to move. Hard decision there one. Hard decision. Hard decision. Oh, he moved. He moved the knight on d2. Knight d2. Okay, it's not a problem. Absolutely not a problem because simplify the position at the moment is good. And let's see if the opponent... Okay, I don't think you wanna take in the knight because he doesn't want to give to Pietro the possibility to removing a good knight for him to a bad knight. Bad. I don't want to say bad because it's not a bad knight. A not developed knight. Let's go. Let's go. And now it's time for the opponent to thinking. Okay, now it's time for Pietro opponent to start to thinking. Yes, spend a lot of time. Spend a lot of time. But I suppose the most normal move to do here is f5. I think is the most normal move to do. Otherwise, taking there, queen takes, but maybe also king takes d2. Because you can move the queen and put the other rook here. It's not important now, castling or other things. 92. And there is also b5, move from the computer. But come on, it's not possible, b5. b5 pro... But wait, but b5 I can take, no? Ah, no, because you want to take doing there for enter there. Okay, not possible. Okay, seems he played f5 exactly. Normal move again. Taking the knight can be an option. Well, seems it isn't. Maybe f3 is better than taking here for giving the opponent to having an extra space. f3 forcing the opponent to going on f6. And with that f3 pawn, the opponent cannot go in there and there, so that's pretty good for Pietro. That he can maybe moving the queen. No, wait, cannot go in there because there is the pawn. Going back, maybe going with the queen on c2, castling, and try to putting the other rook on g1 for trying to push everything, no? Let's go, Pietro. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Pietro. f3 is the move. f3 is the move. Yes, let's go. Let's go. f3. But wait a second. Wait a second, guys. 143? Ah, no, 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 no. Yes, it's my fault. I thought the the clock added just 28 seconds and 30. f3, just one move now for opponent. He is knight f6. He can also consider to taking the knight, but is come on. Is not a move there he wanna do. Well, I hope he wanna doing that, but I don't think it's the move that he can consider to do. So let's go. I don't know why he's thinking too much because it's pretty simple. Just going back. No, I suppose. Seems not so hard to find. Yeah, that move. Because the two options, there are just two options. Just two options. There are taking the knight, but well, you black helps white in taking the knight and going back. But if you go back, you also need to find the continuation, not a single move, because going back on f6 is normal. But you need to also to consider which other moves white can do, because if for example can play g4, and playing g4 can be can be a problem, no? Can be a problem for black because it is an immediate attack, is an immediate pawn attack, and can be a problem for him, no? So let's see. Let's see because okay, his opponent is spending a lot of time, to be honest, just for moving the knight back, and that's pretty good for us if he doesn't feel comfortable going back, or if he just wanna taking the knight. 40 minutes for black. 40 minutes for black. White has a little bit more than 40. And yeah, at the start seems a game in a unique way, but now black find a way for having a super good counter attack. He developed the pieces, he traded the pieces. Now there are no bishop pairs like in the previous game that we analyzed. But knight pairs for black, but okay, it's not so important. Okay, seems black is close to move. Let's see. He go back, yes, on f6. And he go back on f6. He go back on f6, and now it's time to Pietro to find the correct moves, like g4. That seems strong here. There is also h5, a move that we didn't consider it there. With h5, we don't allow to black to play the knight on h5, because if it will play, no, it's not impossible right now too. Because if Pietro consider to play that move, takes, and yes, well, nothing happened, I suppose. Not f6. Hey, 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 welcome, welcome. Yes, knight have to go back. But now Pietro has to replace his pieces because this bishop is in a closed diagonal. Their knight has no squares. But, and also the king is, okay, The opponent cannot attack him, but he cannot attack him, but is a little bit unsafe, no? So it needs to find some different solution. There are no problems at the moment, but can be problems maybe in the future. So it's not a decision because yes, finding g4 it's easy for us, but we need to understand it is easy also for Pietro too, no? And time control is going down, is going to having less than 3 minutes. So yes, it's becoming not easy. Move after move, game is not becoming easy and the people has no time. So let's see. "39 minutes and 40 seconds for the opponent and 40 minutes and 30 seconds for Pietro." The two guys are super close, super close. And the game is not a game played for drawing. No, because I said sometimes when you play against your friend, you can consider to play a chilling game without any pressure. But this game is completely a different game. And let's say if he's considering a lot of other moves, probably because it's not easy finding moves from here. I said before, but I'm not sure, to be honest, that it is a good move because playing e4 just allow to your opponent to not having double pawns in the center, no? And destroying your center. Oh, g4, come on. Come on! Let's go. Best move ever. G4. G4 is the mode found by Pietro. Congratulations, because it's a good move, the best move that he could find in that position. And now let's see if the rook on h3 will be a concrete way for attacking the opponent. Because for the moment, it doesn't seem an attack, a good attack for him. Only true genius can win. Oh, so Pietro has to win. Pietro has to win. But let's see if in this situation it happened. If it happened, I will be super happy. Because first of all, that pawns in the center doesn't seem so strong like previously. No? And also, this seems becoming super strong. You need to be careful for calculating everything, but you can also put in the queen into the game. castle, and with the other rook, that two pawns will be super, super, super dangerous. That can be great for Pietro if the opponent will take that pawn. But I don't find other moves that he can do because maybe he can try to play in that one. No, because bishop can take and he lost immediately the game. The rook on f8. Come on, it needs to moving again that rook. He moved on e8, going back on f8, going on c8 and going. No, come on, it's not possible. It's not possible. Uh, well, moving therefore jump on c5 on c4. I don't think it's so important because that takes and yeah, just oh no, because that pawn was hanging. Queen c2, that one. Oh yes, takes, and bishop can take that. Okay, that's not another idea. Knight a5 because knight f5. Or no, better than that. Queen e2, queen e2, because now you cannot go in there. And the queen can jump on g2 or h2 or f2, depends. Where is the best square for doing something? It's still better for white at the moment. It's not a clear win and it's not a clear better position, but white has more space and we hope. Oh, wait. Black took the pawn. Black took the pawn, really? And okay, just one move here. I don't think Pietro will spend more than 5 seconds for moving. Okay, depends when you go back. And after taking by pawn, yes, it's a super hard decision because black has to. Okay, I play that move because I consider that that's the only one. And after that, rook f8, probably, and g5, and where then I can go. 95 again? No, come on. And it's still going back. Queen g4, and the attack is starting. If he goes on... Oh no, we can take for free. If he goes there, knight takes, d5, and just go back on d3 or maybe on c2. And queen there, queen e2, castle, and putting the rook on c2. On f... Oh, yes, on c2. On f1. Or on g1 and pushing the two pawns. Yes, come on, it's completely better. We need to go in back here. Okay, he took the pawn. Yes, of course. Don't take that pawn. Why don't take that pawn? Now is better for him. Super hard decision. Super hard decision for black. There is in a situation where he has no great moves, to be honest. Just moves for staying and maintain the position. But where white has and can build an advantage. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Every single move g5 is coming. Maybe h6. Let's see with h6 here. Oh no, there is h5 and yes, takes, knight here and queen. Okay, not possible h6. Come on, if you made a mistake here, you will lose the game. h6, game lost. It's crazy. With a single push pawn. Wow. And his opponent, Pietro opponent, is thinking a lot in that situation because the position is not clear and there are some tricky moves that Pietro can do during the game and immediately he didn't need to build something strong. He's just having to pushing a single pawn for having a winning position. Not a drawing position, a winning, immediately winning position. Okay. Rook on f8. Rook on f8 played by black that moved that rook like 3 or 4 times. And now Pietro needs to find that move. Okay, here it says there is e5. But after that is still good for white too. But for example, after that one, queen takes, knight c7. No, come on. Castle. e4. Yeah, e4 seems good. But position is not so bad. Okay, since g4 is not the best one, so... Oh, wait, I forgot something. What's happened here? Takes, and that one. Okay. No, g5 is still the best one. g5. Also, rook g3, just for preventing e5. And there is also queen e2, just for going to g2, and defending the rook, and defending the pawn, and pushing the pawn. Come on, can be a super good plan for Pietro. Let's go, Pietro. And yes, he pushed the pawn. Yes, he pushed the pawn. The correct move. Now e5 is the best counterplay for black. But after that, if... Oh no, that is impossible. No, he cannot play the queen on f3. Otherwise, they're at that one and... Stop. Just rook g3. The only one. The only move. But going back is possible too. No, because there is knight g4. Oh yes, he has to prevent. It's not impossible to find, but he needs to be super careful. First of all, depends also about black move. First of all, because he's not forced to pushing the pawn on on e5, first of all. Okay, probably it's not so hard to find just because all the other moves are completely bad. But he has to calculate also after e5 rook g3, what's happened? Okay, black seems he's close to move. No, he go back. He continued. No, you want to play? You want to play? And he played e5. Yes, exactly. He played e5. He found a move, and now Pietro has just one move. The only move that he can do is playing the rook on g3. Otherwise, in all the other moves, he will lose something. So yes, I don't want to say that it's easy to find, but if you calculate every single move that he can do, you can find that that one is the only one for not losing immediately. Maybe you have to calculate also going on h1, but if you see knight g4, you can say, okay, I wanted to prevent knight g4 and I just play the rook on g3. That's what Pietro needs to do at the moment, no? Okay, now is important that Pietro start to thinking because the game is totally not easy and he cannot make a single mistake, especially because the king is a little bit unsafe. So let's go, let's go, let's go. It's not so hard to find. Wait, what? What? It's not so hard to find, but Pietro needs to calculate everything because it's not easy to calculate. What's happened? Happened that yeah, I show you the entire game. Super fast because they played 19 moves. D4 knight f6. Okay, the London. You saw the London. Castle c3, rook e8, knight e5, bishop d7, bishop d3, queen e7, h4, rook c8, knight f3, knight e4. And now has been played the rook on h3. Little bit strange move, to be honest. f6, knight takes on d7, correct move to do. Queen takes d7, bishop takes d6, c takes d6, knight d2, f5, f3, knight f6, g4, f takes on f4, on g4, f takes on g4, rook f8, and g5 and e5. And here we are. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, but their pawns for white seems completely strong if you can put the queen also into the game, and if you put the queen into the game and also castle and put the other rooks, I think white is in a good advantage. Wow, wow, wow. Pietro is close to move. Let's see. I said rook g3 is the only move to do here, otherwise black is in advantage. And he moving the rook on g3, please. Rook g3, rook g3. Yes. Let's go. Rook g3. Great. Great. Super good. And now the problem is where now black can replace the knight. Or on e8 or on e4. The only two moves. On e4, he will lose something. Because takes. No, wait, what's up? Oh, wait, taking by knight, of course. Come on. Takes. And white is one pawn up. Going on e8, you have the chance for putting the queen into the game. I don't know if on h5 or g4. I don't know. Okay, the only move is that one. Okay, not now, of course. But that's the only one move. Oh, he go back on e8. He go back on e8. Let's go. Putting the piece into the center. Move the queen. Move the queen. Move the queen into the game. Okay, come on. If I have to analyze with the computer, he says a3. But I think nobody in that position would like to play a3. Nobody. Nobody. Another no human move. There is here queen e2, queen g4, also queen b3 because we can attack that pawn. But all the moves with the queen are great. Okay, it's not easy to find that one. What? Bishop takes? Bishop takes the pawn? No way! Queen, king takes, queen h5, king g8, you wanna push in the pawn, but there is knight f6. And after rook here, nothing happened. Come on, he lost the game. No way, no, it's impossible. Offer the draw to the opponent. No way. He miscalculated. He didn't saw knight f6. He sacrificed the bishop. Because after that and that, there is queen here. And he cannot push in the pawn. Otherwise there is knight f6. No, really? He really played knight takes. Bishop takes h7. No way. Come on. Wait, let me delete everything. Bishop takes h7. Bishop takes h7. So after that and king g8, he needs to do in this. Or maybe he needs to castle and putting the rook. Come on, it's not the situation that we want to see. Incredible. That's an incredible move. Offer the draw, offer the draw, offer the draw. No way. Check with the pawn, but it's the same because, well, after taking, you go back, and if you go here, you can play knight f6 again. Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, the opponent took the bishop, of course. He couldn't leave the bishop there. Michael Tal style, yes. And now let's see if he will win the game, because it's a big blunder. It's a big, big blunder. And if he doesn't do the moves immediately, he understood that he made a mistake. Yeah. Super bad situation. Yeah, but check. He just go back. And you cannot do anything. No? With the queen there, knight f6 again. Then not a good situation. Not a good situation. That's unfortunately a blunder. Queen h5. Check. Okay, only move king g8. And maybe now is better castling than doing other moves, I suppose. He needs to sacrifice, but yeah, he needs to sacrifice, but sacrificing the rook to the knight allow to the opponent to moving the king on f8 otherwise, no? Because he take back the knight with the rook, and there is no checkmate because it's still possible. King f8. Damn. Damn. Don't play g6. Don't play g6. Okay, he played castle. That's better than play g6. Okay, let's go. Game is not over. Game is not over. The two pawns. Yes, castle. Castle is the best move to do, to be honest. Yes, the small chances, super small chances, but let's see what's happened. Because now depends if the opponent will play correctly, if he simplify the position and trade the pieces. It will become super hard to do. Oh, you're GRAM. Yeah, because you find a move. Okay, yes, of course. Ai ai ai. Pietro, Pietro. What black can do? Everything, just to enter in a position where he can simplify everything and yeah, winning easily. And Pietro needs to find a way for sacrificing the pieces for sacrificing the rook to the knight, but I don't think it's enough for winning because he also has to play g6, and I don't think it's enough. Maybe the two pawns will be can be a problem if he find a way for taking the g6 g7 pawn for free. In that case, maybe he can win the game, but it's super hard to do because there are not so many chance for getting that type of advantage. His opponent is a 2000 guy, so yeah, it's not so easy to getting an advantage like that. And yeah, let's go. Let's see. Okay, Black is still thinking because he doesn't want to play immediately because okay, he probably know there is nothing, but he need to be careful, otherwise can be a problem for him. But if you find a way, let me check if there is something for him to simplify the position. Rook c8. The other rook on c8. Okay. Leave the rook on the file where there is the king. Maybe not for now, but maybe for later. Let's go. Let's see what White can do. Because, okay, Pietro probably realized that his plan is not working. And he has to find an all-in attack, I suppose. He can find something like knight f3, g6, like knight g5 for trying to checkmate the opponent there. It's not so simple, probably, because also black plays and not him. But probably, I don't want to say that it is the only way um, for winning the game or for trying to having a counter attack, but there are not so many other moves to do for having an advantage. I think that's white plan. And now let's see which is black plan at the moment. Because he has no an immediate plan. He needs to just to moving pieces for yeah, try to do something. And as I said, simplify the position because he has a knight on e8. So you can, for example, play something like, well, after that, like that one. Not allowing g6. Leaving the queen here. Super hard because white can do knight h2 for playing the rook on f1, but it's not so easy. Wow, that queen here. Well, let me going back on knight f3, knight f3, and their move. Okay, promote. Okay, I have to delete some moves, that I calculated. So wait a second. What's up? No, it was not the move. He didn't play that. Okay. Here has been played that one. This one. Castle. Rook c8 and queen f5. Promote and delete the others. Okay, queen f5. Yeah, super hard decision. Not so easy, to be honest. You can think to play something like knight on knight on h2. For trying to going on g4 and, well, finding something good to do, but it's super hard. It's super hard anyway. It's super hard anyway. And I don't know also if it works or not, because knight h2, he can just start to simplify the position. I don't know. Rook f1 is not important. Queen e4. Black is happy to trading everything, no? There is that one, but okay, if he goes there, there is a repetition. Well, I don't know. No, it's super strange. Okay, it's a super strange. It's a lot of moves that I did. First of all, because depends if white will play the knight on h2. And second one, because after that, black can just playing every single move he wants. He has 100 of moves that he can do. Take, knight there. Well, probably also going there for trying to take in the pawn. Well, I don't know. A huge number of moves. Not so easy, not so easy now for our Pietro. The now is also with less time than opponent. And he's still thinking because I think he's trying to ruin a single only attack. Yes, night before is coming, of course. Was one of the move that I said because seems too easy to be played. Night before is attacking the a2 pawn. And I think after night before, white can resign. Because he couldn't play also the king on b1, so he will lose also another pawn. But thinking there is not a problem, to be honest, for white, because he cannot go back, because after knight b4, king d2, he cannot take on e1, otherwise there is knight rook e1. And he cannot back on b4, because now the c pawn can take the knight, no? Oh, but there is no queen, there is queen c2, come on, it's super strong. Well, every single move now it's a problem. Now I think, oh, wait. What I said to you, what I showed to you. Why show you? Okay, well, here we are. Okay, I moved the knight on h2, but also he can go on d2. But come on, going on b2, it's the same move, and now knight b4 is arriving 100%. And after that is queen c2, and the game is totally over. So after that, you need to play e4, pawn takes, and yeah, which other move? Rooks there. No, wait. e6 is better for taking there, but the position is collapsing. Position is collapsing, so that's all. Unfortunately, that bishop sacrifice didn't work because it was a super good move to see, but unfortunately it didn't work. But unfortunately it didn't work. But for example, we said that one, and rook here. Knight can take, king can go on d2, and game can continue. He can go back if he takes. There is maybe rook c2 or king, queen c2. I don't know which one is the best, but is a cool sacrifice. Is a cool sacrifice for getting a better position. Well, let's see. Let's see, because Pietro is still thinking. His time is less than 20 minutes. And let's see if he's close to move, because he spent a lot of time finalizing the position. And unfortunately, he played, I think, Pietro. Is preventing the knight on b4 with the pawn on e3 a good idea? Yes, probably yes. Probably yes. But I think in that way, with a3 now, he can take here, and if he takes, there is queen f4, and game is over. So you cannot take. If you takes with that one, is completely lost, of course, because you're putting your king in the same file, in the same opening file. Let's take in there one, and game is over. Okay, probably not that one, but here rook e1 and checkmate. So a3 can be a super dangerous move if the opponent find that one. But taking by knight, I think it's absolutely the same, because you can play the f4 queen and bye rook. It's a little bit a problem for white. Okay, Pietro is playing, and he played the knight on h2. Now I think black will play immediately the knight on b4. He has not to spend a single second. We hope it doesn't play that move. But wait, there is also that move, because if he takes, there is that one, and it's a KO move. Position is super hard to play. We need a mistake from our opponent. We need a mistake. We need a mistake. I don't want to say that is impossible, because nothing is impossible. I saw games ending in the most strange way possible in the history of chess. Opponent is still waiting. Opponent is still waiting. Uh, 17 minutes for each one. Yes, of course. Black gonna win, but wait. Everybody can make mistake. Game is over when one of the two will win. Okay, Blake is in a good and super good advantage. But if you check the FIDE World Cup, I saw some games played by Grandmaster. Okay, ended. Okay, probably not in their specific situation, of course. But players with a totally drew game. I'm from Italy, and in the FIDE World Cup, there was an Italian player that was playing against Sam Sabian, one of the top GM. Endgame was totally draw, 2 pawns for each one. Okay, and a rook for each one. Totally draw. It's impossible to be lost. And Sabian made up an incredible mistake, and the Italian player won. So if we can hope that Pietro will win, maybe he can find a way, and maybe the opponent didn't do the best move in the best moment. The opponent is still thinking, probably calculating something like with knight 94. Yes, exactly. I know. But maybe there are some tricky move for white because now white has uh, some advantage. Okay, well, he played knight b4. Their pawns are super strong, so let's see, let's see. Okay, now what's happened? Happened that white cannot take. Is trying to doing a checkmate, so he needs to cover that square first of all because he couldn't remove the knight and he cannot remove the queen. Probably the only two moves to do are that two. Ai ai ai, ai ai ai, Pietro. He has to defend the c2 pawn, the c2 pawn, the c2 square because a checkmate is coming, and you also have to replace the pieces, but not to stop to attacking. Otherwise, if he goes to playing defense, black will win immediately because he is one piece up, no? Pietro is thinking because the position is super hard to play, super hard to play. And another super hard thing is finding a way for having a counter attack. Because, okay, you have to prevent the checkmate, first of all, of course. But after that, the other main thing is having a counter attack. Because for playing just in defense, you can quit the game just now. Rook g2 is the move. Rook g2 is the move. You cannot putting links. I'm so sorry. Um, Rook g2 is the move. And now let's see what black will play. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Black is thinking. Because he has no immediate checkmate. He can take the pawn, of course, but he can also take in the d4 pawn. He can develop the knight. He can do everything he wants. Okay, maybe not in that way because if he play that move, he can just take probably. No, seems not. Okay, every single move is not good. Now it's time to playing in defense. Oh, wow. I'm checking the game live, and I am so sorry, but I think Pietro lost the game. He didn't lost yet, but in one move he will lose the queen. So probably he will resign. Okay, because after the game is finished, okay, I don't care about the delay. Okay, into the game has been played. Knight f6. And he go back with the queen here. Knight takes on e2 now. Knight takes on e2. Let's see this endgame because I think we are really close to the end. We are really close to the end, and let's see what can happen. Black is close to move and he played the knight here. He didn't took the pawn yet. White has to defend because now there are many traps for black. 95 is coming. Yes, it came. And now black can take on e2. If white will go on b1, there is knight takes on c3. A lot of dangerous moves. A lot of dangerous moves. I'm so sorry to telling you that Pietro resigned. Pietro unfortunately resigned. I will show you all the moves that has been played during the game. Let me some seconds. Has been played knight here, and there was knight takes on a2. King has been played on c2, and here there was an incredible move. Knight takes on c3, because knight was attacking the queen. So yes, it needs to defending that. But there is also check, and you can say, okay, you can play that move, but with that move there was that one. So double attack and totally lost game. But well, what's happened? Has been played that move into the game. Knight takes there. No. I'm showing you the moves that has been played because the game was in delay. But I have also to showing you all the moves that was played during the game. I don't want to leave you 10 minutes for just for moving. Has been played. Knight there. Pawn takes, king here. After that, white took the knight and has been played queen c2, and here Pietro unfortunately resigned, and well, he finished the game. I wanna showing you just in a second all the game. Okay, yes. 33 moves. Let's go. d4, knight f6, bishop f4, d5 has been played. e3, e6, knight d2, knight d6, bishop d6, bishop g3, knight c6. Knight c6 was not a normal move in that type of opening, but okay. Knight f3, castle, and c3, a great move for white. Bishop e8, rook e8, knight e5, bishop d7, bishop d3, queen e7, h4, rook c8, and now as you can see, white has a super strong attack because he has a lot of space. He can enter in every single move. He lost, unfortunately. Knight f3, knight e4, and rook h3. Okay, here rook h3 was a little bit strange, but not a problem, to be honest, because the space, the extra space that white has, it's a lot. Here has been played f6, so Pietro could sacrifice, could trade the knight to the bishop on d7. Queen takes on d7, bishop takes on d6, c takes on d6, and now seems black could have a super strong center, playing something like the e5 in a few moves. But here, Pietro played super well because he played knight d2, because he want to say, okay, I would like to train the pieces, and I would like to play knight d2 for taking the opponent knight. Opponent, black, played f5, and he played f3 just for give black the only chance to going back or to trade into his knight. Black decided to going back and not trading to white knight. g4 has been played, a great move for white after f takes on g4, f takes on g4, and rook f8. As you can see, that two pawns are super strong, and white could pushing all the pawns on the king side for try to create something something incredible. Hello, hello, hello. Here, Pietro played the incredible move g5 for taking an extra space for, okay, forcing black to going back with the knight, but here black played an intermediate move. He played e5. e5 for attacking the rook, because the rook was not defended. And here, white has just one single move, because, for example, going back, giving to black to jump on g4 with the knight, and was pretty cool for him. He go on g3, and he played the only good move. Unfortunately not, he lost the game. I'm so sorry. We are watching the entire game, and yeah, they are still playing in the camera, but the game was over. What's happened here? Rook g3. Knight was forced to going back, otherwise he will lose a pawn if he go on e4, because knight could take, pawn takes, and bishop take, and black was one piece down, one pawn down, no? And in that situation has been played the only mistake that Pietro did for the entire game. Probably because he didn't saw a simple trick that black could have for defending the checkmate, because white here sacrificed the bishop on h7. And that was, unfortunately, the only mistake in a super good game played by white, because he thought, okay, I can go with the queen on h5, pushing the pawn and checkmate my opponent, but he didn't saw that after, okay, king takes on h7, queen h5 check, king g8. If he pushed the pawn on g6, there was knight f6 for defending the checkmate. And that's why bishop takes on h7 didn't work. Okay, he arrived in that position, and now black played super well, super accurate. And after castle, played by Pietro, probably was the only move that he could do in that position. Has been played rook c8 for putting the rook into the file where there is the opponent king. Knight f3, and now Pietro needed to find a way, and he needed to doing a single specific attack for trying to getting an advantage or trying to doing something, no? And he played the knight on f3, queen on f5, so double attacking the knight. Okay, double defended also, but without allowing g6 for white, and now was a problem for white. Pietro tried to play knight on h2, okay, yeah, just to be focused on attacking the opponent, because, okay, the opponent is in a good advantage, so he has to be focused just on attack. But he didn't, so knight b3, knight b4. White cannot take. Black is also trying to take in that pawn. And here, has been played rook g2 because black was also trying to checkmate white with queen on c2. Has been played rook on g2. Here has been developed the knight. White cannot take, otherwise he will lose the queen. So knight f6, developing the pieces. And that's pretty good for black now because, okay, you have an extra space, a lot of extra space. And he has been played the queen on e2 because he needed to defending the king, because black is trying to getting something strong for trying to attacking the opponent. Has been played here the knight on e4, and after knight g4 has been played a super incredible move after knight takes on a2, king c2 has been played knight takes c3 because was checked by the queen, and also the knight is attacking the queen. And as I told you before, you can also say, okay, I would like just to defending there, but if white will play that one, there is a double attack by the other knight and game is over. And that's why in that situation, oh, sorry, where the fuck? Promote, delay, okay, let's go. After that move, white played the king on b3. Knight takes on e2, knight takes on h6 check. Okay, it was a double attack, but unfortunately black could take. Pawn take check, king h8, and here white took on a2, and after queen on c2. Unfortunately, game was over. Forza Pietro, of course, and I hope he will win the 2 games that he has to play tomorrow, because was super important for him. He has to not to be focused just on the game that he lost today, but he knows that he's strong. He knows that he can beat everyone. He beat a player up to 2000, so it means that he can beat everyone. So today just relax, just not to thinking about the game that he played. And for today, I hope he will win the 2 games that he has to play. For today, guys, is enough. I hope you enjoyed seeing my live stream. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, and don't forget to follow Pietro on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much again. And we will see tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, because I go to Venice tomorrow, but in the next days. On Monday, of course. And yeah, that's enough. Guys, thank you so much. I enjoyed a lot for that two games. Probably Pietro doesn't want me for commenting his game because he lost 2 games in a row. But guys, thank you so much, and bye bye.